Hi, I'm Dr. Mohan Thomas. Like I promised a few weeks ago, I'd be talking about the dark side of the beauty business. So, what should we start talking about? First of all, let me tell you something about a little bit about myself and lasers. There are laser machines and there are many wavelengths. I was one of the first people many years ago that graduated and got certified in 9 wavelengths. Each wavelength of a laser machine does something very specific. And when you graduate, friend, get certified in these wavelengths, and I graduated and got certified from the Houston Laser Institute, is now defunct and no longer exists. You not only knew laser physics, you knew about laser safety for the patient as well as the doctors around. One of the misconceptions that people have about lasers are that all lasers are the same. It's not. Each one has an affinity for a certain kind of thing. Sometimes it's water, sometimes it's color. So this platform is not that detailed to talk about the various wavelengths, but it's enough to know broadly. Today we will talk about laser hair reduction machines. So, all laser machines provide a certain amount of energy. These are energy-based devices. So they can harm you. Now let me move away from laser machines for a minute and talk about cars. A car weighs approximately 3,000 pounds plus. Would you let anybody drive this car without a license? Or let's talk about an aircraft. Can anybody pilot an aircraft without a license? Can somebody manage or commandeer a ship without being certified as a captain? A vehicle, a car, can be a weapon. If it goes out of control and hits a man and kills a man, that is known as vehicular manslaughter or murder. But it is not intentional, so I call it vehicular manslaughter, punishable under the law. So if all these things require a certification, a license, don't you think a laser machine, which is quite dangerous in the hands of an untrained person, should not be sold to just about anybody? You would agree with me, right? Salons, beauty parlors, just about anybody. In most of the civilized part of this world, and I think we are a civilized country, we're no longer an underdeveloped country, we're a developed country. Laser machines are not sold without a prescription, which means to an unlicensed person, only to a physician. Here the companies sell it to anybody who has the money. That's the first thing that needs to change. Now, I'm not against a salon or whoever wants to buy this, and they have a doctor who's certified in lasers and laser safety present at the time when this is being done. I'm okay with it because I'm all about safety for the patient. Okay? Now, there are machines and there are machines. The world standards are US FDA approved or SCE certification. That gives you a certain amount of comfort that this machine is calibrated properly, it's reputable, doesn't go like a runaway car and cause damage or injury to the patient who's undergoing the treatment. What are the most common things that occur with a laser machine, particularly a hair reduction machine, is burns. It's quite common because the most common machine used is called a diode laser. This diode laser is a contact laser, which means you use a gel and the head makes contact with the skin. Temperatures go up pretty high and the settings have to be accurate. Aestheticians are allowed to use this under the guidance and supervision of a physician who is well versed in this kind of stuff. So now, if there is a burn, what should be done? Obviously, there are many kinds of burns. There's a kind of a burn that is a minor burn, a serious burn, and a much more involved kind of burn. Now, burn classifications we need not discuss. They have a superficial burn, a medium kind of burn, and a very deep burn. We won't go into that because this is not a burn session, and besides, most people that will be listening to this may not really know the classification of burns. Enough to know they need to be attended to very quickly. What you need to do, the gold standard today is Silver-X or silver sulfadiazine, which should be part of a safety kit or an emergency kit. You should be applied to the burn almost immediately, all over sparingly, lots of it. If you feel there's degrees of burn, first degree, second degree, third degree burns may have to be rushed to a hospital, which is the nearest hospital, which is the nearest physician. All this is part and parcel of the functioning of the place where the machine is. Now, other forms of laser safety is, if you have an X-ray machine, have you noticed what happens in any X-ray place? It's sitting in a room with the door closed. If the X-ray machine is on, there's a red light outside to let people know the machine is on. You don't walk in, right? Okay. The other thing is you wear a lead apron to protect you. In the case of laser machines, they have to be in a room, isolated from other patients. Eye protection is required, both for the operator and the patient. Fumes come out. Now we're talking only about laser hair reduction machines. So whatever fumes come out have to be evacuated, means sucked out, smoke evacuation systems. In my office, we follow all of this. And so you can be very sure that this is being performed in the most safe manner that there is. Then we talk about machines. There are machines that go for 2 and 3 lakhs, and there are machines that go for 50, 60 lakhs of rupees. You think there's a difference between the types of machines? Of course there is. That's why the fee structure is different. Do you think the ride in a Maruti would cost less than a ride in a luxury car? Obviously, you know the difference. The ride, the safety, etc., etc. I need not go into it. It's common sense. So now you expect the best of machine. You want the laser safety. You want a doctor to be around, and you want everything to go right. And you don't want to burn, and yet you don't want to pay much. So what do you think is going to happen? You're going to compromise somewhere. Now, Indians are always looking for bargains. You'll get a bargain you didn't bargain for. You go to a milk store. The guy tells you it's $50 for a liter. You want it for 25. What do you think he's going to do? He is going to dilute the milk with 50% of water. Now you got adulterated milk. Are you happy with that? So when you pay less, negotiate, get a lower price, you are going to be getting a compromised, unsafe kind of treatment. This is part 1 of my dark side of the beauty business. Tune in next Wednesday for part 2 of the dark side of the beauty business. Thanks for watching and have a great week.